Hey everyone, welcome back to King English Podcast, where we learn real English slowly, clearly, and with confidence. I'm Tom, and today we're going to talk about something every learner struggles with, forgetting English words. You learn a new word today, and tomorrow it's gone. Sounds familiar, right?
Yes, totally. I study new words every day, but they just disappear from my memory after a while. It's so frustrating. Am I just lazy?
No, not at all. Forgetting words doesn't mean you're lazy. It simply means your brain didn't learn the word deeply enough. Think of it this way. When you see a new word just once, it's like meeting a stranger on the street. You might say hello, but you'll probably forget their name in an hour.
That's a good way to describe it. So, how do I make those words stick in my mind? How do I make them my friends?
Excellent question. The secret is connection. You have to see, hear, and use the word in different ways. Once a word becomes part of your daily life, it turns from a stranger into a friend. Let's walk through this step by step.
All right, I'm ready. What's the first step?
The first step is simple. Don't learn the word alone. If you only read the word one time or just write it on a list, your brain won't remember it. You need to give it a real home, and that home is a sentence.
So, just writing charge on my list isn't enough.
Exactly. You have to use it in a sentence that means something to you. For example, the word charge means to put electricity into your phone or device, but repeating charge, charge, charge over and over isn't real learning. It's just noise to your brain.
So, I should say something like, I need to charge my phone, right?
Perfect. That's real English. Now, make it a little longer. Say, I need to charge my phone before I leave the house.
Okay. I need to charge my phone before I leave the house. That feels more natural.
Exactly. Now one more. I couldn't call you. My phone wasn't charged.
Ah, now it's like a real situation I might say to a friend.
Yes, that's the point. When a word is part of a living sentence, it comes alive in your mind. Every sentence gives the word a new life.
I see. So the secret is not just to know the word, but to use it naturally.
Right. Let's practice with another word. Delay. Do you know what that means?
Yes, when something happens later than expected.
Exactly. Now, say this. There was a delay at the airport.
There was a delay at the airport.
Good. How about the train was delayed because of the snow?
The train was delayed because of the snow. Got it.
One more. Sorry for the delay. My meeting ran late.
Okay, that's very real. I could imagine saying that to my boss.
Perfect. That's how you learn vocabulary that sticks. Each sentence becomes part of a story, and stories are what your brain remembers best.
That makes sense. So instead of just learning definitions, I should build small stories around words.
Exactly. Let's try another word. Borrow. What does borrow mean?
It means to take something from someone and give it back later.
Right. Now, say, can I borrow your pen?
Can I borrow your pen? Easy enough.
Good. Now, I borrowed a book from the library.
I borrowed a book from the library. I can see the picture already.
Nice. Last one. He borrowed my bike and didn't return it.
Oh no, that one hurts. I can really feel that situation.
Exactly. When you feel something, even a small emotion, your brain holds the memory longer. You're not just learning borrow, you're remembering the story behind it.
That's actually fun. It's like playing with the words instead of memorizing them.
Exactly. Learning vocabulary should feel like storytelling, not studying. Now, let's do one last example before we move on. The word is messy.
Ah, I know that one. It means not clean or not organized.
Right. So say, my desk is messy.
My desk is messy. That's true right now, actually.
Same here. Now, another one. Her hair looks messy today.
Her hair looks messy today. Got it.
And one more. The kitchen was messy after the party.
Oh, yeah, I can totally picture that. Empty plates, cups, everything everywhere.
Exactly. When you see it in your mind, you keep it in your memory. That's how your brain learns, through images and stories, not through lists.
That's interesting. I never thought about vocabulary this way before.
Most people don't. That's why they forget so fast. They try to memorize words without connecting them to real life. But when you build images, emotions, and small stories, every word becomes alive.
So, what should I do every day to make sure I really remember new words?
Great question. Here's my daily challenge for you. Every day, choose just one word. Not 10, just one. Then make 3 full sentences with it. Say them out loud, use them in real conversations, or even in a text message. The more you use the word in daily life, the faster it becomes part of you.
That sounds manageable. I can do that every morning.
Perfect. And remember, repeat those sentences again in the evening, morning and night. That's how you own a word. See it, say it, use it. That's the rule.
See it, say it, use it. I love that. It's short and easy to remember.
Exactly. Learning English is not about how many words you know. It's about how many words you actually use and feel comfortable with.
That's a big mindset shift. I always thought the goal was to memorize more words.
Many learners think that, but real English fluency isn't about memorization. It's about connection and repetition. You have to live with the words, speak them, and feel them. That's how they stay with you for life.
So, to sum up scene 1, I shouldn't just study words from a list. I should build sentences, connect them with real life, and practice every day.
Exactly right. You're already thinking like a fluent English speaker. Next time, we'll talk about how to use new words quickly so your brain doesn't forget them. That's our next powerful technique.
Awesome! I can't wait for that one.
Then stay tuned. Let's keep building your English. One word, one sentence, one story at a time.
You know, I've noticed something interesting about learning English words. If I don't use a new word within a day, I almost always forget it.
Exactly. It's like the brain decides that the word isn't important and just deletes it. That's why people say, use it or lose it.
Right. Our memory is selective. If we don't show the brain that something matters, it doesn't keep it. So, using a new word quickly tells your brain, hey, this is useful.
That's a great point. I used to just write new words in a notebook thinking I'd remember them later. But without practice, they just faded away.
Same here. I once wrote down 50 new words after watching a movie. The next week, I remembered maybe 5 of them. The rest? Gone.
I've had that happen too. Now, when I learn a new word, I try to use it in a sentence right away. Something simple from my daily life.
Like when you learn the word delay, you can say, there was a delay in the meeting. That one simple sentence helps you remember it.
Exactly, because you're connecting it to a real situation, not just memorizing it like a robot.
The 24-hour rule really works. When you use a word soon after learning it, your brain starts to store it in long-term memory.
Yeah, it's like planting a seed. If you water it right away, it grows. But if you forget about it, it dries out.
That's a good metaphor. The more you use the word, the stronger its roots become.
So, what's your favorite way to use new words within 24 hours?
I usually try to speak them out loud. I talk to myself in English, or I use them in a short text message to a friend.
That's smart. I sometimes use the words in my journal. Writing helps me remember too.
Yes, journaling in English is great. Even 1 or 2 sentences make a big difference. Like if I learn the word frustrated,
I might write, I felt frustrated when my internet didn't work.
That's a perfect example. It's simple, real, and emotional. The emotion makes the word stronger in your memory.
True. The brain remembers feelings better than facts. That's why emotional sentences stick.
I think people often forget that vocabulary isn't just words, it's experiences. You have to connect the word with your life.
Exactly. If you only repeat the word confident 10 times, you'll forget it. But if you say, I felt confident after finishing my project, you'll remember it much longer.
So, step 1 is learning the word. Step 2 is using it quickly, in speaking or writing.
And step 3 is using it again a few days later. That repetition strengthens the memory even more.
Right. It's not about memorizing once, it's about reminding your brain that this word matters.
You know, sometimes I even challenge myself to use new words when chatting with friends online. It makes learning fun.
That's a great idea. It turns learning into a game. You're not just studying, you're living the language.
Yes, and that's how real fluency develops. Words you use become part of you.
I totally agree. You can't expect to remember what you never practice. That's why so many learners feel stuck. They collect words, but never use them.
So true. It's like buying ingredients but never cooking. You'll never taste the meal unless you use what you've learned.
Nice comparison. So the takeaway here is simple. Within 24 hours, speak, write, or even think with the new word.
Exactly. Don't wait for the perfect time. Just start using it today, in a conversation, a message, or even in your thoughts.
And if you forget, that's okay. Just try again. Each time you use the word, you make it stronger.
The more you use it, the less you'll lose it. It's that simple.
Use it or lose it. Maybe that should be every English learner's motto.
I love that. It's short, clear, and true.
So to everyone listening, don't just learn English, live it. Use the words today and they'll stay with you tomorrow.
Beautifully said. Let's move to the next part, where we'll talk about how to connect new words to emotions so you never forget them.
You know what really helps me remember English words? Emotion. When I connect a word to a feeling, it sticks in my mind much longer.
That's so true. Our brains are emotional machines. They remember how we feel more than what we read.
Exactly. For example, when I learned the word embarrassed, I connected it to a real memory. The time I tripped on stage during a school event.
Oh no! But that's perfect. Because now, whenever you hear embarrassed, your brain immediately brings back that moment.
Yes, it's funny, but I'll never forget that word. It's like the emotion locked it in my memory.
That's powerful. So emotion becomes the glue that holds words together in your mind.
Right. If we only learn words logically, like reading lists or flashcards, they fade away. But when you add a personal story or feeling, the word becomes part of you.
I think that's why watching movies or listening to emotional podcasts helps so much. When the scene is sad, exciting, or funny, your brain remembers the words used in that moment.
Absolutely. Like when you watch a movie and a character says, I'm heartbroken, and you feel it, you understand the word deeply, not just its meaning.
Yeah, that's what real learning looks like. You're not memorizing a translation, you're connecting to the emotion behind it.
Exactly. That's how children learn too. They feel first, then speak. Adults sometimes forget that part. We try to think too much.
True. I remember when I learned the word grateful. It wasn't from a book. It was when a friend helped me through a tough time. I said, I'm so grateful for you. That feeling made it unforgettable.
That's a beautiful example. It shows how experience gives meaning to words. Without emotion, words are just sounds.
So maybe that's the secret. Don't just study English, feel English.
I love that. Feel English. When you use emotion, your language becomes alive.
Right. Even when you practice alone, you can add emotion. For example, if you say, I'm tired, say it with the tone of someone who's really tired.
Exactly. Don't say it flatly, feel it. Your brain connects tone, expression, and emotion all together.
That's what shadowing helps with too. You imitate not just words, but the feeling and rhythm behind them.
Yes, shadowing is a perfect exercise for this. When you copy how native speakers express emotions, your pronunciation and memory both improve.
And it makes learning more fun. You're not just repeating, you're acting, performing, expressing yourself.
I agree. Sometimes I even imagine scenes in my head when learning new words. Like if I learn relieved, I imagine finishing an exam and taking a deep breath.
That's great. You're using imagination to trigger emotion. The brain doesn't care if it's real or imagined. It still remembers the feeling.
Exactly. Visualization plus emotion equals strong memory.
So let's give listeners a simple exercise. Next time you learn a new word, think of a moment in your life that matches that feeling.
Yes, like if you learn proud, remember a time you achieved something. If you learn angry, recall a moment that frustrated you.
And say the sentence out loud. I felt proud when I passed my test. Or, I was angry when I lost my keys.
The sentence is simple, but the feeling makes it powerful. That's emotional memory at work.
I like to call it emotional shadowing. You're not only copying how people speak, you're copying how they feel.
That's a great phrase. Emotional shadowing helps build natural intonation too, because you're not speaking mechanically.
Yeah, your tone becomes more natural when you actually feel the meaning of the words.
I think this also helps learners sound more confident. When they connect with what they say emotionally, their speech becomes more expressive.
Exactly. Confidence doesn't come from perfect grammar. It comes from connection.
I love that. Confidence comes from connection. That's a quote to remember.
So, in summary, emotional memory means linking words to real feelings, experiences, or even imagination.
And when you do that, you stop learning like a student and start speaking like a real person.
Right. Words are not just information, they're human experiences.
And when you live those experiences, the language becomes yours.
So maybe instead of memorizing 20 new words today, learners should deeply feel 5 of them.
Yes, 5 words with emotion are more powerful than 50 words on paper.
Because those 5 will stay in your mind forever.
Exactly. So to everyone listening, try this today. Take one new word, make a sentence with emotion, say it out loud, and feel it.
You'll be surprised how your brain starts to remember naturally, without effort, without stress.
That's the magic of emotional learning.
Well said. So far, we've talked about using words quickly and connecting them emotionally. What's next?
Next, we'll explore how visualization helps you turn words into living pictures in your mind so you'll never forget them again.
That sounds exciting. Let's dive into that in the next scene.
So, in the last scene, we talked about connecting emotions to words. But now, let's talk about another superpower for your memory, visualization.
Yes, visualization is one of my favorite learning tools. It means creating pictures in your mind when you learn new words, right?
Exactly. Think of it this way. Your brain loves images. It remembers pictures much better than plain text. That's why you can remember a face from 5 years ago, but forget a word you studied last week.
That's so true. I can still remember my childhood house perfectly, but I can't remember half the vocabulary from my school books.
Right, because our brains are visual by nature. So when we link a new English word with a picture or scene, we help our brains store it longer.
Can you give me an example? Let's say I want to remember the word climb. How can I visualize it?
Great question. Close your eyes for a second. Imagine yourself standing at the bottom of a mountain. You've got a backpack on, the air is cool, and you're ready to go up. You take your first step, then another. You're climbing.
I can see it. The rocks, the trees, the blue sky. It's like a movie playing in my head.
Exactly. That's the magic. You're not just hearing the word climb, you're seeing it, feeling it. That image makes it unforgettable.
That makes so much sense. So visualization is like turning vocabulary into little movies in your mind.
Yes, perfect description. You can do it with almost any word. Let's try another one. Relax.
Okay. I'm imagining lying on a beach, hearing the sound of waves, feeling the sun on my skin.
Beautiful. That's it. Now, if someone says relax, your brain immediately connects to that peaceful beach image.
Wow, it really works. The word feels alive now, not just something from a dictionary.
Exactly. And here's the secret. The more details you add, the stronger the memory. Add sounds, smells, emotions, anything.
So it's not only a visual image, but a full sensory experience.
That's right. For example, if you learn the word rain, don't just picture water. Imagine the sound of raindrops, the smell of wet earth, the feeling of cool air on your skin.
That's powerful. I can actually feel it when you describe it like that.
And that's why you'll remember it. Because your brain says, oh, this is real. This means something.
I see. So visualization turns abstract words into real experiences.
Exactly. That's what makes vocabulary stick. Experience, not repetition.
You know, I think learners forget that studying English isn't just reading and writing. It's also imagination.
Absolutely. Imagination is one of the best teachers you have. You can use it anytime, anywhere, no books needed.
That's encouraging because sometimes people think they need expensive courses or special apps, but actually, your mind is the most powerful tool.
Totally true. You can use visualization while walking, before bed, or even during a boring bus ride.
So how can someone practice this step by step?
Good question. Let's break it down into 3 simple steps. Step 1, when you learn a new word, say it out loud and imagine it clearly. Step 2, create a short scene or story using that word. And step 3, review that picture later in the day, just like replaying a short movie in your head.
That's so doable. For example, if I learn the word cook, I can imagine myself in the kitchen, chopping vegetables, smelling food, and tasting something delicious.
Perfect. That's how your brain connects cook to your own world. You'll never forget it.
I love this method. It's simple, creative, and it feels fun.
That's the key. When learning is fun, your memory opens up. When it's boring, your brain shuts down.
True. I think that's why children learn so quickly. They play with language.
Exactly. Adults should do the same. Turn vocabulary into a game. Imagine, act it out, draw it, or find pictures online.
Oh, drawing. That's a great idea. Even a simple sketch helps me remember.
Yes, drawing activates another part of your brain, and the more connections your brain makes, the deeper the word stays.
So visualization isn't just about seeing. It's about connecting different parts of the brain together.
Right. When you visualize, you're using sight, emotion, and creativity all at once. That's why it's so powerful.
I once read that athletes use visualization to improve their performance. They imagine themselves winning before they even compete.
Exactly. And language learners can do the same. Imagine yourself speaking English confidently, having real conversations, understanding every word.
That's amazing. So visualization can also build confidence, not just memory.
Definitely. Because when you see yourself succeeding in your mind, your body starts to believe it's possible.
I love that idea. So it's not just about learning words, it's about seeing yourself becoming fluent.
Yes. Every time you visualize, you're training your brain for real-life English success.
So, to summarize, visualization means creating clear, emotional pictures for each new word
adding senses and imagination to make it real.
Exactly. And when you do that consistently, English words stop feeling like strangers. They become familiar friends in your memory.
That's beautiful. I think I'll start using this technique today.
Great. Start small, maybe just 5 new words. Turn each into a vivid image or story in your head.
I'll do that. I can already imagine relaxed, tired, excited, busy, and hungry. Each one has its own picture.
Perfect. That's how learning becomes effortless.
So what's next after visualization?
In the next scene, we'll talk about grouping words by topic, how connecting words together makes your vocabulary stronger and easier to remember.
Sounds great. I'm ready for it. Let's go deeper in the next part.
So in the last scene, we talked about visualization, how turning words into pictures helps you remember them. Now let's go even deeper. Let's talk about how to connect words together.
Yes, I've been waiting for this one. You mean learning words in groups or themes, right?
Exactly. Most people learn words randomly. A word from a movie here, another one from a textbook there. But that's like collecting puzzle pieces from different boxes. They don't fit together.
Oh, that's a great comparison. So when you learn by grouping, it's like completing one puzzle at a time.
That's right. When words are connected by a topic, your brain builds a stronger network. You don't just remember one word, you remember the whole family of words that belong together.
That makes so much sense. For example, if you're learning about the weather, you can group words like sunny, cloudy, storm, breeze, and rain.
Exactly. And you can go one step further. Make a mini story. Imagine this. It was cloudy in the morning, then a light breeze started, and by the afternoon, a big storm arrived.
I love that. The words connect naturally in the story. You don't have to memorize them one by one.
Right, because your brain remembers the story, and the story carries the words with it.
So, storytelling is like a vehicle that transports vocabulary into your long-term memory.
Beautifully said. Storytelling turns words into meaning. Without context, a word is just information. But in a story, it becomes emotion, image, and experience all at once.
I think that's why kids remember stories so well. They don't try to memorize, they just enjoy the story.
Exactly. That's how we all learned language as children, through stories, songs, and daily conversations.
So, if I wanted to practice this, should I group words by topic or by situation?
Great question. Both work. You can group by topic, like food, travel, or work. Or you can group by situation, at the supermarket, at the airport, in a restaurant.
That's interesting. Grouping by situation sounds very practical for real-life English.
Yes, because it helps you imagine actual conversations. For example, at the airport, you might use ticket, flight, delay, boarding, and passport.
And then you can create a short story around it. My flight was delayed, so I waited at the gate with my passport and ticket in hand.
Perfect. You just used 5 related words in one natural sentence. That's real English in action.
I can see why this method works better. When words are connected, they help each other stay in your memory.
Exactly. It's called association. Your brain loves patterns and links. If one word appears, the others follow naturally.
Like when I think of coffee, I also think of cup, morning, smell, and energy.
Yes, that's your brain creating a web of connections. The stronger that web, the less likely you are to forget.
So, It's almost like building a city of words. Each neighborhood is a topic, and the streets connect them together.
That's a wonderful image, and as you visit each neighborhood more often, you start to know it by heart.
I like that. So, how can learners start building their own word city?
Start small. Pick one topic per week. For example, daily routine. Collect about 10 to 12 words like wake up, brush, breakfast, work, tired, and sleep. Then build a mini story about your day.
For example, I wake up early, brush my teeth, have breakfast, go to work, and feel tired at night.
Perfect. Now those words are connected to your life and to each other. You'll remember them easily.
That's so much more effective than just writing a list and repeating it over and over.
Definitely. Lists are lifeless. Stories give life to your words.
You know, I sometimes watch English TV shows and write down related words from one scene. For example, if they're cooking, I note chop, pan, oil, salt, and boil.
That's a great technique. You're grouping words by action and context, which is exactly how native speakers use them.
I guess that's how our brains naturally work. We connect meaning through relationships, not random data.
Yes, learning should always follow how the brain learns best, through patterns, emotion, and context.
So the key takeaway is don't learn single words. Learn in groups or stories.
Exactly. Think of English vocabulary as a storybook, not a dictionary.
I like that. A storybook, not a dictionary. That should be your motto for this lesson.
I might use that actually, but seriously, that small shift in mindset can change everything.
I agree, because when you enjoy the learning process, you stop forcing yourself to memorize. The words just stay.
Right. And here's another tip. When you review, don't test yourself with definitions. Instead, tell the story again.
Oh, that's smart. That way, you're practicing both memory and speaking.
Exactly. You're training your brain to think in English, not just translate.
So, for example, if I'm reviewing the weather words, I can say, it was cloudy. The breeze felt nice. Then a storm came.
Yes, that's active learning. You're connecting meaning, rhythm, and emotion all in one go.
I can see how this would make English feel more natural and less like studying.
That's the goal. The more you connect, the less you have to memorize.
So, to summarize, group your words by topic, connect them through stories, and review them as living scenes, not lists.
Perfect summary. When you learn this way, English becomes part of your imagination, not just your notebook.
I love that. You're not memorizing English, you're living it.
Exactly. And that's how fluency begins, not by remembering hundreds of words, but by building meaningful connections between them.
That's such a helpful mindset. So, what's next after this?
Next, we'll talk about daily practice, how to make these techniques part of your everyday life so you never lose your progress.
Awesome. I'm ready for that. Let's move to the next scene and make learning English a daily habit.
You know, the biggest challenge isn't learning new words, it's sticking to the habit every day.
Yes, that's true. Most people get excited for a few days, then life gets busy, and they stop.
Exactly. But building a daily habit doesn't have to be hard. You just need small, consistent actions.
Like brushing your teeth. You don't think about it anymore. It's automatic. That's how English should feel.
I love that comparison. If you make English part of your routine, it becomes effortless over time.
So, how can someone build a habit that really sticks?
I'd say start small. Maybe listen to an English podcast while you make breakfast, or repeat a few words while commuting.
That's great advice. You don't need to study for hours. Even 10 minutes of focused practice every day is powerful.
Yes, it's better to practice for 10 minutes daily than 2 hours once a week. Consistency beats intensity.
I totally agree. The brain loves repetition. The more often you hear or use English, the more natural it becomes.
I also think it's helpful to connect English with something you already enjoy, like watching a favorite YouTuber, but in English.
Or reading short articles about your hobbies. When learning feels enjoyable, your brain pays more attention.
Right, enjoyment is key. If it feels like a chore, you'll give up quickly. But if it's fun, you'll keep going.
I used to think I needed perfect conditions to study. Quiet room, good mood, lots of time. Now I just do it anywhere.
Same here. I listen to English while cooking or exercising. Little moments add up.
And they create momentum. Once it becomes part of your identity, I'm someone who practices English every day, it's easy.
Exactly. You stop thinking of it as studying and start seeing it as living in English.
That's so true. Sometimes I even switch my phone language to English. It forces me to think in English all the time.
That's a great trick. I also talk to myself in English. It might sound funny, but it really works.
Yes, talking to yourself helps build confidence. You practice without fear of mistakes. Another helpful tip
is setting a specific time. Like, I'll practice at 8 p.m. every night. That structure helps you stay consistent.
True. Habits grow faster when you connect them to something you already do. For example, after I brush my teeth, I'll listen to English for 5 minutes.
That's called habit stacking. It's simple but powerful.
And if you miss a day, don't quit. Just start again the next day. The goal is progress, not perfection.
Absolutely. Real learning takes time. Even one small step each day keeps you moving forward.
You know what helps me stay motivated? Tracking my progress. I use a notebook or app to check off every day I practice.
That's smart. Seeing your streak grow makes you proud, and you won't want to break it.
Exactly. It's a visual reminder that you're improving, even if it's slow.
And remember, small daily habits lead to big results over time.
Yes, one day you'll realize you're thinking, speaking, and even dreaming in English.
That's when you know the habit has truly stuck.
So, to everyone listening, don't wait for the perfect moment. Start small, start today, and keep going.
Make English part of your life, not just a subject. And soon it won't feel like studying at all.
Exactly. It'll just be you, living naturally in English.
Beautifully said. Next, we'll talk about how to stay motivated when you feel tired or lose focus, because that happens to everyone.
You know, sometimes it's not the difficulty of English that stops people. It's laziness or boredom.
Oh, definitely. Everyone starts with energy, but after a few weeks, the motivation fades.
Exactly. At first, you're excited, but later it feels like a routine. You start thinking, maybe I'll skip today.
And that one day becomes a week, then a month. I've been there many times.
Me too. But I learned that motivation doesn't come first, action does.
That's powerful. You mean when you start doing something, the motivation follows?
Yes. Even if you feel lazy, just do a small action. Open a podcast, read one paragraph, or review one word. Once you start, your brain wakes up.
I like that. It's like exercising. You don't always feel like working out, but once you begin, you feel better.
Exactly. The hardest part is starting. Once you take the first step, the rest becomes easier.
So maybe we shouldn't wait to feel motivated. We should just begin, even if we don't feel ready.
That's right. Motivation is not a feeling. It's a result of action.
I think another reason people lose interest is because they repeat the same boring methods.
True, if you only memorize vocabulary lists or grammar rules, it gets dull quickly.
That's why I always try to make English fun. I watch comedy shows, listen to music, or follow English vloggers.
Great idea! Learning should feel alive. When you enjoy the content, you naturally stay consistent.
I also reward myself. For example, if I study for 20 minutes, I allow myself to watch a funny video or eat a snack.
Rewards work. They train your brain to associate English with something positive.
Yes, and it doesn't have to be big. Even a small celebration keeps you motivated.
Another helpful thing is to remind yourself why you're learning.
That's true. When I feel lazy, I ask myself, why did I start? I think of my goals: travel, better job, or communicating with people around the world.
Exactly. When your why is strong, your excuses become weak.
I love that. It's like recharging your motivation battery.
And remember, everyone feels lazy sometimes. You don't need to be perfect, just consistent.
Right. Even if you miss a day, don't feel guilty. Just pick up where you left off.
Yes, progress isn't about never falling. It's about getting up again.
I also think changing your environment helps. Studying in the same spot every day can get boring.
That's a great point. Try studying in a park, a coffee shop, or even while walking. A new space gives you new energy.
Or change the way you study. For example, shadowing one day, journaling the next, then listening to a story the day after.
That variety keeps your brain curious. Learning becomes an adventure, not a duty.
And sometimes just taking a short break helps too. Rest isn't quitting, it's recharging.
Absolutely. Burnout happens when you push too hard without balance.
So it's okay to slow down, but not to stop completely.
Exactly. Even doing 5 minutes a day is better than doing nothing.
The key is to stay connected to English in some way: reading, listening, or speaking.
Yes, keep the momentum alive. Motivation grows when you stay in motion.
So, to everyone listening, don't wait for the perfect mood. Just take one small action today.
And remember your reason, your why. That's what keeps you going when things feel hard.
Because learning English isn't a race, it's a journey. Some days are easy, some are tough, but every step counts.
Exactly. Stay consistent, stay patient, and your motivation will come back stronger.
Well said. In the next part, we'll talk about how to review smartly, how to make sure what you learn stays in your long-term memory.
Perfect. Because motivation helps you start, but smart review helps you remember forever.
So, we've talked about motivation and daily habits, but here's the next big question. How do we make sure we don't forget what we learn?
Yeah, that's the real challenge. I've learned so many words, but after a week, I can't remember half of them.
Same here. That's why we need something called smart review. It's not just reviewing everything again and again, it's reviewing in the right way.
Interesting. What do you mean by the right way?
Well, most people review by reading their notes over and over. That feels productive, but it's actually not very effective.
Oh? So what's better?
Try active recall. That means instead of looking at the answer, you try to remember it first. For example, look at the word messy. Instead of reading the meaning, ask yourself, what does messy mean? Or can I use it in a sentence?
Ah, so it's like testing yourself. You make your brain work to find the answer.
Exactly. That small struggle helps your brain remember longer. It's like exercising your memory muscles.
I love that idea. Passive review feels easy but doesn't stick.
Active recall is harder, but it's worth it.
Right. Another smart trick is spaced repetition. That means you review the same word several times, but not all at once.
Like reviewing today, then again tomorrow, then a few days later?
Exactly. Each time you wait a bit longer before reviewing, your memory becomes stronger.
That's amazing. So it's not about how long you study, it's about when you review.
You got it. Your brain loves patterns. When you review smartly, you're telling your brain, hey, this word is important, don't delete it.
That explains why I forget words when I cram everything in one day. I never give my brain time to breathe.
Exactly. Learning too much at once is like pouring water into a cup that's already full. Some of it will always spill out.
So instead, I should focus on a few words, use them, then come back to them later.
Yes. Review after 1 day, 3 days, 7 days, and 14 days. Just a few minutes each time.
That sounds totally doable. I can even set reminders on my phone or use flashcard apps.
Perfect idea. But remember, technology helps. You do the work. You need to say the words out loud, make sentences, and imagine them.
Right. The deeper the review, the stronger the memory.
Exactly. And here's something else. Review in different ways.
What do you mean by that?
Don't just read or listen. Try writing, speaking, drawing, or acting it out. Every time you use a different method, you build a new connection in your brain.
Oh, that makes sense. Like when I say the word, I use my voice. When I write it, I use my hands. When I imagine it, I use my mind.
Exactly. That's full body learning. The more parts of you are involved, the longer you remember.
I remember once I acted out the word run in my living room. It stuck in my head for days.
That's a perfect example. Learning should feel live, not mechanical.
So let me see if I got this. Smart review means 3 things: active recall, spaced repetition, and multi-sensory practice.
That's a great summary. If you use those 3, you'll never forget words so easily again.
And maybe I should keep a review notebook, just a small one to write new words, sentences, and review dates.
Brilliant idea. It helps you stay organized and reminds you of your progress.
I think seeing progress is also a kind of motivation.
Absolutely. When you look back and see how much you've learned, it gives you confidence to keep going.
And it's not about being perfect. Even if I forget some words, the review will bring them back.
Exactly. Forgetting is normal. It's part of learning. Reviewing is how you fight it.
I like that mindset. Forgetting isn't failure, it's just a signal to review again.
Perfectly said. Smart learners don't try to remember everything. They just review smartly.
So, to everyone listening, don't worry about forgetting, worry about not reviewing.
Yes, the secret isn't memory. It's repetition. Smart, consistent, and meaningful repetition.
I love that. In the next part, can we talk about how to practice speaking naturally using these words?
Absolutely. That's the next big step. Turning vocabulary into real conversation.
So, now that we've talked about smart review, the next step is turning those words into real speaking.
Yeah, that's the hardest part for most learners. They know the words, but when it's time to speak, their mind goes blank.
Exactly. It's like the words are hiding somewhere in your brain, but you can't find them fast enough.
I've felt that so many times. I understand everything when I listen, but speaking feels like climbing a mountain.
That's super common. The truth is, understanding words and using them are 2 different skills.
So how do we connect them? How do we move from, I know this word, to, I can say it naturally?
Great question. The answer is simple but powerful. Practice speaking the words you learn in real sentences. Don't just learn them passively.
Like what we did earlier, saying, I need to charge my phone, instead of just charge.
Exactly.
But now we take it one step further. Instead of repeating the same sentences, you create your own.
Oh, I see. That way, the word becomes part of my thinking, not just my memory.
Yes. For example, let's say you learned the word nervous. You can say, I feel nervous before a presentation, or my friend was nervous before her test. But then try to use it in a real situation, like telling someone, I was nervous during my interview today.
So using it in my daily life makes it natural.
Exactly. You're not just translating from your language anymore, you're thinking in English.
I guess it's like driving a car. At first, you think about every step, but after enough practice, it becomes automatic.
Perfect example. Speaking English should feel automatic, not stressful.
So how can we practice that daily? Sometimes I don't have anyone to talk to.
That's where shadowing comes in. Listen to a native speaker, pause, and repeat what they say, copying the tone, rhythm, and pronunciation.
I've tried that. It really helps me sound more natural. It's like training my mouth and ears at the same time.
Exactly. Shadowing helps you feel the language, not just understand it.
What about journaling in English? Does that help too?
Definitely. Writing your thoughts in English is a form of speaking on paper. You use real words to express real feelings.
I like that idea. Maybe I can write a few sentences every night using new vocabulary I learned that day.
That's perfect. You can also read them aloud. Speaking what you write makes it double practice, listening and pronunciation together.
That sounds simple but powerful. And what about talking to myself? I've heard that's helpful too.
Yes, it might feel weird at first, but it's an amazing habit. You can talk to yourself while cooking, walking, or even in front of a mirror.
Like saying, I'm washing the dishes now, or I'm planning my weekend.
Exactly. You're practicing real-life English with no pressure, no fear of mistakes.
And the more I talk, the faster I'll remember words when I actually need them.
Right. You're building fluency by training your brain to speak instantly.
I think another good idea is recording myself. That way I can listen and check my pronunciation.
Brilliant! When you listen to your own voice, you notice small mistakes and improve faster.
And maybe I can compare my recording to native speakers to adjust my rhythm and tone.
Exactly. That's how you make progress. Don't aim for perfection. Aim for connection.
I love that. So it's not just about speaking correctly, it's about speaking naturally.
Yes, you don't need to speak fast or use big words. Just speak clearly, confidently, and with feeling.
And I guess confidence grows when you use English every day, even in small ways.
Absolutely. Confidence is built through repetition and small wins. Every time you speak, you're training your brain to trust you.
So to sum it up, to turn words into speech, I should shadow native speakers, write and read aloud, talk to myself, and record my voice.
That's right. The key is use it daily. Don't wait for a perfect situation. Create your own practice moments.
I like that. Because if we wait until we're ready, we'll wait forever.
Exactly. You become ready by doing it.
So to everyone listening, start small. Pick one word, make a sentence, say it out loud, and use it today.
Yes, every small practice turns vocabulary into real English. You'll be surprised how fast you improve when you speak daily.
Great advice. In the next scene, let's talk about how to keep your progress going long term, how to stay consistent for months, not just days.
Perfect. Because learning English isn't about 1 week of effort. It's about creating a lifelong rhythm.
We've covered so many great tips: how to remember words, how to use them, and how to turn them into real speech. But there's one last secret we need to talk about.
Let me guess. Consistency?
Exactly. Consistency is the magic ingredient. You can learn hundreds of tricks, but if you don't keep going, you'll forget everything.
Yeah, I've noticed that. Every time I stop practicing for a few weeks, it feels like I'm starting all over again.
That happens to everyone. It's not because you're bad at English, it's because our brains need constant contact with the language.
So it's kind of like keeping a plant alive. If you water it regularly, it grows. If you forget, it withers.
Exactly. English is your plant. Even 5 minutes a day can keep it alive.
But a lot of people struggle to stay consistent. They start strong, then lose motivation.
That's true. The trick is to make English a part of your daily life, not just something on your to-do list.
So instead of saying, I must study English, maybe say, I live with English.
Perfect mindset. Think of English as your daily environment, like your phone, music, or morning coffee.
I like that. So how do we do it in real life?
Let's start small. You can listen to an English podcast while walking, watch a short English video before bed, or read one paragraph of an English article in the morning.
So instead of long study sessions once a week, do short sessions every day.
Exactly. 5 minutes every day beats 1 hour once a week. That's how habits form, through small, repeatable actions.
I've heard that it takes about 3 weeks to build a habit.
Yes, around 21 days of steady effort can rewire your brain. After that, it becomes natural.
So the goal isn't perfection, it's building rhythm.
That's right. Consistency builds rhythm, and rhythm builds fluency.
You know, sometimes I get bored doing the same exercises. How can I keep things interesting?
Great question. Variety keeps your brain awake. Mix it up. Listen one day, write the next, speak the day after. You can even switch topics. Food, travel, movies, work, family.
That sounds fun, like building an English lifestyle around things I already enjoy.
Exactly. If you love cooking, follow English recipes. If you like music, learn the lyrics. If you enjoy movies, watch them with English subtitles.
So I'm learning without feeling like I'm studying.
Yes, that's the goal. The more natural it feels, the easier it is to stick with it.
And what about tracking progress? Sometimes I feel like I'm not improving.
Ah, that's a big one. Progress in language learning is invisible at first. You might not notice it daily, but after a month of steady practice, you'll realize how much you've grown.
Maybe keeping a little English journal would help to write down what I learned each day.
Brilliant idea. A learning journal helps you see your journey. Even a few lines like, "Today I learned 3 new words," keeps your motivation strong.
I guess it's about celebrating small wins.
Exactly. Every time you use a new word correctly, every time you understand a podcast without subtitles, that's a victory.
I like that. It turns learning into something enjoyable, not stressful.
And remember, fluency doesn't come overnight. It's built through tiny steps, day by day, word by word, conversation by conversation.
So, the key is to make English part of who I am, not just what I study.
Exactly. When English becomes part of your identity, you'll never forget it again. It's just part of your life.
That's powerful. So, to all our listeners, don't rush, don't quit. Just keep going every single day.
Yes. Keep showing up, keep listening, keep practicing. Even if it's just 10 minutes, do it with heart.
Because small effort, repeated daily, leads to big results over time.
Absolutely. And one day you'll realize you're not learning English anymore. You're living it.
That's the dream, right? To live English every day, naturally and confidently.
That's the goal of this podcast, my friend, to help every learner build habits that last for life.
Beautiful. So let's keep practicing, keep growing, and keep believing in our English journey.
Yes, and remember, consistency isn't about being perfect. It's about showing up again and again. That's how fluency is built.
Thanks for the reminder. And to everyone listening, stay patient, stay consistent, and enjoy the process.
Exactly. This is King English Podcast, helping you grow your English step by step. Until next time, Keep learning, keep practicing, and keep living in English.
See you next episode, friends.
Wow, what a journey we've taken today. From learning how to remember English words to turning them into real conversation. Each step matters.
Yeah, we started with why people forget words so easily, and then explored how to fix that with practice, emotion, and visualization.
Right. We learned that if you use new words within 24 hours, they stick better. And when you connect them with feelings, stories, or pictures, your memory becomes much stronger.
I really liked the part about storytelling, how grouping words into small stories helps you remember them naturally. It's like learning with emotion and imagination together.
Exactly. And we didn't stop there. We also talked about daily practice, how building small English habits creates big progress over time.
That was such an important point, because English isn't something you study once, it's something you live every day.
Yes, the more you surround yourself with the language through music, movies, podcasts, and conversations, the more natural it becomes.
And of course, we ended with the biggest secret, consistency.
Absolutely. Consistency over time is what transforms effort into results. You don't need to be perfect. You just need to keep showing up.
Every small step counts. Every new word, every short podcast, every English thought, it all adds up.
So, to everyone listening, don't give up. Keep learning, keep speaking, and keep enjoying the process.
Remember, English is not just a language, it's a bridge to connect you with the world.
Beautifully said. So, let's keep walking that bridge together, day by day, word by word.
And if today's episode inspired you, don't forget to subscribe, share this podcast, and keep practicing with us.
You're growing even when you don't notice it. Trust the process, stay patient, and live your English every day.
This is King English Podcast, your daily companion for English listening and speaking practice.
Thanks for listening, and until next time, keep your English alive, active, and full of life.
See you in the next episode, friends. Keep learning, keep shining.